The movie is set in a small old country where extreme poverty prevails due to the scarcity of money and food caused by a severe crisis. The mischief of rats finds their way to a magical institution's dump grounds, devouring all the litter they can find, including magical items such as spell books, potions, and powders. Exposed to these supernatural objects, the rodents quickly become highly intelligent, gaining sentience. Upon leaving the magical dump grounds, the now intelligent rats, along with a human boy named Keith and a brilliant cat named Morris, form an unlikely group of con artists to earn money for their survival. Every week, they travel to a new town and execute a coordinated plan known as the cutting routes. They infiltrate the village, causing chaos among the townspeople. Morris arrives at the village and offers Keith services, referring to him as the rat tamer. The cunning cat craftily deceives the desperate villagers, convincing them that Keith can control rats with the power of music. Believing these lies, the gullible villagers offer Morris several silver coins for Keith's services. Once the job is done, Keith arrives and plays his flute, causing the rats, who were part of the plan, to come to him. They exit the village, putting on a convincing show by pretending to drown in a nearby river. The villagers applaud, and Morris and Keith quietly leave the town to reunite with the rats on the other side of the river. The con artist group reassembles and congratulates each other for a successful job. They then head to their next target town, called Bad Blitz. Despite its advanced infrastructure, including well-constructed houses and roads, the city of Bad Blitz suffers from terrible famine. Over the years, the city has experienced a spike in food theft cases, with people's meals disappearing without any visible culprit. This has led to a severe food shortage crisis, and the mayor suspects a rat epidemic. The mayor hires a group of rodent exterminators who successfully rid the town of its rats. However, the food theft cases continue unabated. Days later, the con group arrives in the city, splitting into different teams. The rats explore the city's sewers, searching for ways to cause chaos, while Morris and Keith venture into the city to find food. Their exploration leads them to the mayor's house, where they encounter a young girl named Militia, who turns out to be the mayor's daughter. After their conversation, Militia shares details about the mysterious food theft cases in the city, suggesting they team up to solve this puzzling mystery. With no better plans in sight, Morris and Keith decide to assist her. They make their way to the rodent exterminator's office to conduct an investigation. Upon arrival, the resourceful Militia picks the lock and breaks into the office. The trio quickly searches for clues, and their luck shines as Militia discovers a lever that opens a trapdoor leading to an underground cellar. Intrigued, they explore the hidden chambers and stumble upon a room filled with all the town's missing food. Seeing this, their hungry stomachs can't resist, and they have a few bites while trying to unravel the food theft mystery. Their exploration is interrupted when one of the rats named Peaches finds them in the cellar, anxious and informing them that another rat has been captured by a trap in the sewers. However, before Peaches can finish her explanation, the other rats arrive, leading the trapped rodent, who happens to be their leader, Dark Tan. Fortunately, Militia figures out a way to disarm the trap and ultimately free Dark Tan. Just as the group reunites, the rodent exterminators return to the cellar and catch them red-handed. Without wasting any time, the criminals immediately attack and capture all the rats and humans, except for Morris, who manages to escape, opting not to harm them. The exterminators tie up Keith and Militia in the food pantry, while the rats, except one named Sardines, are kept in cages. Shortly after the criminals kidnap the group, Morris returns and assists in freeing the rats from their cages. Now free, Morris and the rats split up. Some head to the pantry to rescue Keith and Militia, while others begin searching for Sardines. Fortunately, the resourceful rats have no trouble locating Keith and Militia and easily free the captured duo. Together, the group leaves the pantry, but not before adding a twist to their revenge plan. They lace some of the exterminators' food with laxatives. When the unsuspecting criminals return and greedily devour their food, they quickly notice a weird rumbling in their stomachs. Seconds later, Keith and Militia confront the exterminators about the food theft cases. Initially, the criminals refuse to reveal their secrets and remain tight-lipped. However, their stubbornness is short-lived, as the clever Keith reveals that their food has been poisoned and offers to provide the antidote if they confess. With their stomachs rumbling uncontrollably, the exterminators eventually succumb to their demands and finally tell the truth. It turns out that the duo had captured numerous rats, leading the rodents to combine and form a mutant creature known as the Rat King. This monstrous beast is highly dangerous because it's an intelligent being with the ability to control the minds of rats. Upon hearing this revelation, the group presses the exterminators to reveal where they've kept the antidote and urgently searches for a way to stop the Rat King. Militia, an avid reader, shares that the only thing capable of stopping this monstrous creature is a magical pipe with the power to control animals. However, this enchanted object is challenging to obtain because its owner is hidden deep within a dark forest. Despite the danger, Keith and Militia bravely embark on a mission to find it. Together, the duo navigates the dark woods and overcomes a series of obstacles as they approach their destination. After several hours of determined journeying, they finally locate the magical pipe. Upon inspection, they discover that the enchanted object belongs to a peculiar man named Mr. Piper, who uses it to lure and capture animals. Exercising caution, the duo patiently waits and observes Mr. Piper as he returns to his house and falls asleep. Without hesitation, they seize the golden opportunity and break into Mr. Piper's home. There, Keith finds the pipe in the sleeping man's arms and gently retrieves it. Unfortunately, as soon as the young boy turns his back on Mr. Piper, the man awakens and knocks him out. A minute later, Keith regains consciousness and finds Militia desperately trying to convince the strange man to surrender the magical object. However, before Keith can fully grasp the situation, Piper whips out the musical instrument and plays it. It's then revealed that the magical pipe can not only control animals, but also humans, as the duo becomes possessed by the sound and follows Piper's instructions. Using the musical instrument, the evil man controls the teens and leads them toward a scorching oven. Fortunately, just before the duo is led to their demise, a strange object goes through Piper's clothes, causing him to stop playing the pipe. The moving gadget emerges from his pants, revealing it to be an automated rat toy that Militia had secretly placed there. Startled by the gadget, Piper jumps into the oven as his clothes catch fire and burn up. In a desperate move, he rushes out of the oven and jumps into a nearby well, while the teen duo retrieves the magic pipe. Meanwhile, the rodents from earlier finally make progress as they locate sardines in an underground arena where rats are placed in fighting pits with dogs for the entertainment of humans. Moments later, Sardines finds himself placed into the ring, quivering helplessly as a rabid dog prepares to devour the tiny creature. Thankfully, just before the dog is released, the other rats arrive at the scene and quickly devise a plan to rescue Sardines. Dark Tan jumps into the ring to distract the dog while the other rodents save their trapped comrade. Once Sardines has been retrieved, Dark Tan leaps out of the pit and escapes, while the humans in the audience futilely attempt to capture him. After breaking free, Dark Tan reunites with the other rats and Morris as they collectively attempt to flee the city. Unfortunately, the group doesn't get far before running into the Rat King on their path. The mutant creature immediately employs his telepathic abilities to control the rats and draw them toward him. Unable to control their own bodies, all the rats except one named Beans get pulled towards the telepathic monster. Seeing the rats in danger, Morris quickly departs from the scene and heads to the dark forest in search of Keith and Militia. Fortunately, he quickly encounters the duo and informs them of the Rat King's emergence. Without wasting any time, the trio rushes to the scene, preparing to confront the Rat King. Upon arrival, Keith attempts to use the pipe to control the mutant creature. However, for some reason, the magical instrument doesn't quite work on the Rat King. Unfazed, the Rat King tosses Keith aside as he continues to pull the rats towards him. Minutes later, all the rats, except for Beans, are sucked into the mutant creature. Noticing that his telepathic abilities don't work on Beans, the Rat King attempts to squeeze him to death. Luckily, Keith intervenes and plays the pipe once again, this time focusing on a sweet melody instead of a cacophony of notes. The new approach proves effective as the mutant's body is affected and begins to evaporate, releasing all the trapped rats. Though they achieve this, the battle is far from over. The Rat King's heart survives the attack, revealing that the mutant's core is composed of a small group of rats immune to the pipe's music. These rodents immediately cast a widespread spell that freezes everyone in the area except for Beans. The group invites the resistant rat to join them, but Beans declines the invitation and vows never to be a part of the group. Hearing this, the rat in the core casts a spell on Beans, gravely injuring him. A frozen Morris is devastated upon seeing his wounded comrade and feels a surge of anger boiling within him. This heated emotion causes the cat to break the spell and attack the mutant creature. Scared, the Rat King tries to ward Morris off with his powers, but the resilient cat resists their attacks, claws at the rats, and eventually bites off their core, killing the mutant once and for all. The attack produces a huge energy blast that injures Morris and sends him to the brink between life and death. At the brink of life and death, Morris spots Bean's lifeless body and notices the Grim Reaper attempting to guide him into the afterlife. Being a cat with 9 lives, Morris willingly offers 2 of his lives in exchange for Bean's return to the world of the living. Impressed by this generous offer, the Grim Reaper accepts the bargain, and both Beans and Morris are sent back to the realm of the living. Seconds later, the duo awakens, surrounded by their friends, with a renewed sense of life. In the closing scene, the city of Bad Blitz finally recovers from the famine, and both rats and humans coexist in peace and harmony. The once troubled city finds a newfound balance, thanks to the bravery and resilience of Morris, Keith, Militia, and their rodent companions. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more interesting movies.